right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers Boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Moll promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Did it just shut off early for you?
Nope. Played all the way through right for me. I know what's wrong.
Huh.
I know exactly what's wrong.
Well, what do you think is wrong?
I'm running 150 meg per second internet, and you're running half a meg, I think, per second.
Ew.
That's
Some
what's
days I
wrong.
fucking wonder, man.
I think it's your internet.
Yeah, probably. But Mr. Fiber Optic, you ain't that fancy.
Oh, no, they're putting a new fibre optic into the village, what is it called? They're taking down all the copper wires in the next 4 years. They're taking all the copper wires down, and it's got to be this new digital service, and it's 1 terabyte per second. Yeah, that'll be good for the old impressive. Xbox. 36 gig update. Beep. Oh, that's it done. Because the new, it's shit.
I mean, can you imagine what it's going to be like when GTA 6 drops?
Oh my god! Look,
I mean, you're finally getting a fucking trailer.
I know. I've not seen the trailer yet. I've no.
It's not officially out till next month. Apparently, they were waiting until Rockstar's 25th anniversary.
I will be purchasing myself a new Xbox Series X, followed by the game itself. But what I know is, because I know somebody that works for Rockstar, the game's going to cost about 130 quid. Round about that. It's about $150 for a game. But it's got to be huge.
Be a damn good game.
It's got to be massive. Seemingly it's got to have like multiple cities and stuff like that. What I've been told so far.
And the AI for it's supposed to be way sophisticated.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Everybody knows, I know this is not a gaming show, guys, but everybody knows that in GTA, the cops are like pre-programmed. So if they're chasing after it, it'll say, throw your keys out the ignition. It gets a bit old after like you've killed the 500th police officer kind of thing, Seemingly, but with the AI, they're intelligent and they'll learn how to catch you. So if you driving up a hill, they'll actually follow you and they'll try and catch you.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
The gaming industry,
AI getting integrated into society, and it learns on how to act based on how people play fucking Grand Theft Auto. Can you imagine?
Here's a subject actually, and it's the perfect. You're young, you may not look at, but he's actually quite young, ladies and gentlemen. 26, 27, round about that. I think I'm getting it right there. See, Elon Musk is offering, is it $250,000 to implant a chip into your head?
I would be tempted for it, to be completely honest, because I think that if it were to integrate to where you can like literally pull your memories out of the chip and put it as a video on the computer, I think that would be awesome. But after I heard about one of the macaws having issues and the chip going way wrong with it, I don't think I would, man.
But could you imagine what that would do for like right? Say hypothetically, say this is maybe 10 years in the future, right? Where it actually works. Can you imagine the benefits with that chip? So hypothetically, you're abducted by aliens, but you can't remember it. But can that chip remember that?
That would definitely be an interesting what if.
Can you imagine?
Because any efforts to try to catch it as the abduction happens, technology always goes haywire. So here's another way to look at it. Would that cause negative effects on the chip?
What do you mean to melt down?
I don't know. Maybe it goes haywire and causes some sort of damage because it's not used to so much power. As an example, just as an example, you might say, "Well, Lawrence, that's how you go." Yeah, and they say, certain abductees may have implants in the Galactic Federation. A lot of them utilize implants in order to conduct their operations. But what we're talking about here is going to be like the very, very basic prototype compared to what they got.
Oh, how old is the Galactic Federation of Planets?
Depends, because they're technically not.
Who started it?
Technically, they're not. Technically, in Earth time, they're not going to be found for another 300 years.
Right. But technically, they exist because I know they exist, and Elena talks to them and stuff like that. So, hypothetically, who started the Galactic Federation? Somebody must have started it.
Civilizations around Lyra started the one we know now. There's been a few different iterations of it.
Right. So, pick a guess at your head. 1,000 years? More?
I don't know how that would work out, considering time travel's a part of it.
Right. Hypothetically, you're no
I mean,
space.
how do they sell it? I know.
So you're telling me the aliens up there, the new, are not really up there, the new. They're actually in a different time zone. But when they come here, they're coming.
Technically, they're from 300.
I thought you
300
come
years
back
in
in
the
time.
future.
But I thought you couldn't go forward in time. I thought you couldn't come
linear
back in time.
Linear time only exists when you're on a planet. When the gravitational pull of a large enough celestial body influences the flow.
No, but I thought with all the way the time worked, because there's the extraterrestrials out there that have went back in time, but when they go back to their world doesn't exist anymore because they're going to an alternate world to theirs because of the time difference. So how does that work?
Yeah, this is one of those things you don't give too much thought to it, otherwise you're going to fry your brain.
So how does it work with the Galactic Federation? Must have figured out a way. So you're telling me that on the Earth, if I lived to 100, which is highly unlikely, if I lived to 100, right, I've lived 100 years. But in the Galactic Federation sense, that could just be a couple of months to them.
Depending on what species you're talking about, yeah.
Right. That's actually quite interesting.
Because if you actually really get down to it, different animals perceive time differently. Different people experience time differently.
There'll be races out there right now. There'll be races out there that are 1,000 years old, and they just look exactly the same age as me and you. They're just talking about the now, probably eating their sandwich and looking at the screen, look at the A2 bald idiots they're talking again. Right, let's change the channel to like the Galactic football or something like that. I mean,
yeah. Which also makes you wonder, how do birthdays and shit like that work up there? Because if it's not linear, there's not certain set dates. Do they still celebrate like birthdays, anniversaries?
I like your sign. What is it? I'm with stupid. I should have one that says I'm with ugly. I've seen that ages ago, but I don't know what to say that. I want one that says I'm with an idiot. I can't have one, can I? But I could have one that you are. I'm with ugly.
Yeah, save that for when you're up with Jenny.
Oh, that's terrible saying that about me. That's terrible. It depends which destiny they are in. At times runs at different rates and different dentists. I don't get it. I don't know lately. I've been sitting into all the.
It's difficult.
No, but I've been pondering that. Do you think a lot of the folk out there that they do this stuff think it's a load of madness? There is folk out there that I do believe. I do believe you, and I believe Dots, and I believe in Lena and stuff like that. But there's so many folk coming out the woodwork now that say they're this and they're that, and they're just making it utter up. I was watching a guy on YouTube the other night that, Jesus Christ, and all fucking holy, and I'm sorry for my saying. I've met some utter arseholes in my life, but this guy taking the biscuit, he was just going on about the Greys and about how he used to go up to the spaceship and had discos in the ship with the Greys and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And
One
I'm
hell
like,
of an LSD trip.
I know, but it's look. Do you not think that the internet, ever since the UFO explosion, is just filling up with utter shit lately? I mean, Elena's stuff is 100% real. I know that, and your stuff is 100% real in that. And there is people out there that actually produce right stuff, but then there's people out there that's totally fake. And
I know, but that's one of those things. Honestly, I'll say it. I feel that there is a certain percentage of people who try to follow channels like ours, Elena, Alex Collier. Everybody who gets in the field gets them. They simply follow whoever matches their delusions the closest. Do I think everybody that jumps in on this is a star seed? Probably not, but
no,
I could be
no,
wrong. There could be factors that I'm not considering.
I'm going to say this right now. No, everybody's a starseed. No, everybody's a starseed. I do think there's people out there that's had the experience, they've seen UFOs, but that doesn't mean to say you're a starseed if you've seen a UFO. If a UFO appeared above a stadium, it doesn't mean that everybody in that stadium is a starseed. You know what I mean? You could just be a witness to an event. You know what I mean? There's people out there that have been abducted by aliens, but they still might not be starseeds. They might just be getting abducted because they've got something wrong with them that alien wants to look into. Yeah, I mean, they're just interested in your lineage. They're interested in what's wrong with you. You know what I mean? They're maybe just interested in you.
I know.
Chris Dotts has been telling me stuff like this for years. I still struggle with it. All information. Oh, no, it's not that I don't believe it. I do believe it because I do believe that there is something. And I believe that these things really exist. But there's so many folk. I noticed an awful uprise. See, after the stuff was released in the US Senate hearing. See, after that was released, it just exploded. TikTok exploded. Mind you, TikTok's the village idiots. That's what they all go. But look, it exploded. There's folk out there saying, "Oh, I'm an extraterrestrial for the planet Zorn. And if you send me $25, I will tell you your future," and all that kind of stuff. I mean, honestly, where does it end? Honestly, I think we're in the kind of precipice where we need some proof really soon, because it's just going to be a laughing stock if we don't. Do you know agree with me? Do you know agree that we need to bring some proof to the table?
Between the U.S. Senate hearings, between the RO director basically stepping down and admitting that he's been repressing shit.
Oh yeah, so
and between I've also noticed there's been a lot of information, a lot of stuff coming out of Mexico because of their Senate hearings regarding UFOs. We're going to see a lot of this, and maybe it's a psyop to confuse the hell out of everybody so they don't pay attention.
I'm going to say this right now. I think,
but
I'm going to say this now. I think there's a lot of people out there that are deliberately doing this to make folk change their minds. I think there's like a lot of these preppers that say, "Oh, there's going to be a nuclear war," and all that kind of stuff, and they get hundreds of thousands of views and all that. I think they're deliberately doing this to put fear into people's things. It makes them money, one, right? I think there's a bit of CIA or operative kind of thing going on here with all this kind of stuff. And there is UFO people out there that I think are total dicks, right? And the stuff that they talk about is utter shit. And they get all the limelight, and they get on the History Channel and Discovery, and they're up there, and the aliens coming down a big triangle and all that kind of stuff. Where there's actually real people like Elena, for instance. She should be up there telling her story, but she doesn't get to tell a story, and that's the problem. That is the problem.
Well, situations like Elena are one of those ones that are truly extraordinary, that there's so much backstory behind it where you're convinced either she is telling one hell of a story and is damn good at it. She is an author, she has that background behind her. We'll say that. And she's very clearly an intelligent woman. without a doubt. But as we've seen on this show when we've had her on, too much weird shit happens to really deny the possibility.
I'm going to be 100% truthful here. I think Arena is the real deal, right? But there is people running about that I've been watching lately that I thought were real, and they're just, I don't know, they're shit. I don't trust them. I've been watching a few. I'm not going to name names. And there's folk there, and then they change their story, and then change it again, and then change it again, and then change it again. And every time they change it, it's like it's the same story, but it gets that one wee bit more exciting. You know, it gets that, and you're like, what did you not say that in the first place for? But then he tells it to somebody else, and then he's like, oh, the sun exploded. And then he tells somebody else, and he says, "Oh, the sun exploded, a big big spaceship arrived, and all that kind of stuff." It's like it's getting more spectacular and spectacular. So as he gets more views, so as he sells more books. I'm saying a he because it could be a she or a he. That's why I'm just doing that to mix these up. Look, I do think there's a lot of fakers out there. 100%. That TikTok is full of it, man. Jesus and all that's holy. It really is. There's some amount of shit out there.
You know, the recent guest spot I did on X Zone Radio, I think Dots actually saw the link for it. You can find a video copy of it on YouTube as well. Honestly, the guy, he's been doing this type of stuff for years, doing this shows, actually gone out on investigations. My story started to really confuse the hell out of him. Enough to where it stirred up enough speculation. He's already invited me back for a part 2.
Yeah.
And I think this is exactly what we're going to get into. Let's face it, I'll admit, some of the more exotic aspects of my story, despite a lack of effort, I literally have security cameras going right now to try to catch shit. Despite a lack of effort, I have a lack of evidence to back some of the more exotic stuff. But I have proof that there are UFOs been flying around me.
I've had people, I'm going to admit this, I've had people come to me and say, oh, they think that you're a joke and all that kind of stuff. And I've said to them, listen, I says it's no fucking joke. I can tell you that right now. What's happened to Dakota is the real deal. I reckon it sounds absolutely fucking mental, right? To the sane person that's never experienced UFO stuff, this is mental, right? Let's face it. If you to take somebody off the street that's never really looked at UFOs and all that kind of stuff and then gave them your story, they'd be like, that kind of thing, they'll just have a mad stare. And I've told them, I says, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. I actually gave one of the Millennium one of your books. And I says to them, I says, listen, he's the real deal. I've experienced things with him. Strange things. Very
You've
strange
actually
things.
tried to suggest I should go through an exorcism because my shit's so weird.
Aye, but that's before I knew it was all alien, that kind of stuff and that. Like,
I know.
The alien stuff.
I
will say this.
You've been in those shoes.
I'm going to say this to now. I've experienced stuff with extraterrestrials and stuff like that. I still experience things with extraterrestrials. I don't really talk about it because I don't like talking about it because it's just downright fucking weird, right? The things that's happened to me, right? There's things that you don't even care about that I've experienced, and it's look, it's weird, right? It's downright weird. I don't get it. This is what really annoys me, right? And again, everybody's going to say they're doing it for the greater good, and you're going to say this. They send you here, right, on a mission to Earth, right? To do that mission. But they don't fucking tell you and you wipe your memory. Then they take you away at night and they tell you everything. And you get to walk about the ship and you remember everything. But when you wake up in the morning, you forget. What is the point of that? Really? What is the point of that? That's like it's like taking it. It's like going to somebody and saying, "Listen, here's the first copy GTA 6. It's yours to play," and everybody gets really excited. Puts it in. Oh, I'm playing GTA 6. This is great. And then he wakes up and he can't remember playing that, but he had a vague, fair memory. He holding the disc in his hand, but that's it. You see where I'm going with this? It's like it takes the piss sometimes. right? I get really fucking annoyed with them. I really do. I really do
Yeah.
get annoyed with them. There's times I just want to punch them in the face. Maybe that's why they don't come about me much more anymore. Maybe I've done it. I don't know. I can't remember. See, that's the thing.
Been incidents.
I can't
Been
remember.
incidents.
Really? What happened?
Basically, as you said, somebody got a little too frustrated
Look,
and retaliated.
I think it's a bit like they want the good for the earth, but they're not allowed to help on the earth because of free will and all this kind of stuff. And it is, I know there's the Galactic Federation signed a treaty like Star Trek and all that, and the people of the earth have to build their, what do you call it? They have to. So this is what I don't get, right? The people of the earth can't be helped by the Galactic Federation because they don't have the technology to travel among the stars. But they do have the technology to travel among the stars because the governments of the world, let's take the American government, for instance, have the technology to travel among the stars. So, and the government of the United States is paid for by its population. So hence that is the people. Yes, it might be secret. So why not come down and just show themselves? Why? They're not breaking any rules. They're not breaking any laws. Don't say, oh, but it's the continuum thing where it's the protocol. It's the what's it called in Star Trek? What's it called in Star Trek again? Dots, help us out.
Prime Directive. They use the same term.
Right, the Prime Directive. Don't say it's the Prime Directive, where our governments have the technology to go to Mars in under a couple of minutes or travel to a different galaxy. They have the technology. The people pay the taxes. The taxes pay for all these kind of things. So hence, there's no Prime Directive getting broken here. If they show up one day and go, hello. You see where I'm going with this? Why? I get really annoyed with these. I really do sometimes. I really do. There's
An
times
example
where I
I've
could
always
strangle the wee
used.
buggers.
An example that I always used. We all know someone who feels they're entitled to everything, yet they're always getting into trouble, causing problems, getting involved. Maybe even got to the point where they got involved in drugs. Situations like that. The way the earth sits is a lot like that person. That person is not going to change unless they pull their head out of their ass. The main thing is with the governments, and I know that Dots is trying to get into this as well. A lot of what happens now is because of our government systems of having elected officials make choices for us. So it's, to them, it makes it look like the people are allowing the governments to keep shit secret. But that's what the transition is trying to do. Allegedly, that's what's trying to happen.
So you're telling me
that sometime next year they are coming.
So you're telling me that the Galactic Federation are waiting now, because people watch this show and I was asking me questions. They asked me these questions that I'm asking you tonight. You're telling me that the Galactic Federation are waiting for our presidents or prime ministers to come out and say, listen, we've got technology that can take you to Proximus B or whatever it's called in under like 3 days. We can go anywhere we want, basically. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they say that, they'll come down.
More or less words.
But what happens if they don't do it?
They're kind of
just going, because they were given a deadline.
The definitions behind the Prime Directive have actually changed, which allows them to step in a little bit more to force their hand. Why do you think Hamas was sent in?
What was that?
Why do you think Hamas was activated?
What, Hamas in Israel?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What's that got to do with the Galactic Federation? Like, the terrorists, other people.
There's a lot of motion going pretty close to them flat out saying extraterrestrials are here. But then all of a sudden, right as that's gaining traction, Iran activates Hamas.
But what would be the point of causing a war?
Funded by the United States.
But why do this? Why do this kind of stuff? If they came, the extraterrestrials that are watching us now come to this planet, obviously they're going to bring technology with them, right? They're going to bring like clean fusion power and stuff. I can we're making it ourselves, and in a couple of 100 years we'll have it. But why risk it? Because they could destroy the planet. Why destroy the planet and then they come? Why? It doesn't make sense.
False flagging.
Or are they getting
invasion.
desperate? They're going to lose power.
They're getting desperate. So they're going to try to play their final card to make the aliens look bad. False flag.
But the aliens are not with the ones firing tactical nukes at everybody. It'll be fucking Russia and China and America
think about
and
it.
everybody shooting at each other.
Humanity absolutely fucking sucks at keeping a clear head when shit goes south.
Of course
right?
it does.
So if all of a sudden they got a war going on, and all of a sudden there's strange lights in the sky that's shutting down all the weapons, it may even get to the point where it fires back. That's going to make the people. That's going to be the one thing that would actually. That's the thing. That's going to be the one thing that unites the governments of this world. You have one world government.
I personally, if I had a spaceship that knew, which is highly unlikely going to happen, I would just get into that spaceship and I would vaporize the White House. Then I would move to the Downing Street and then I would move to all the mad, crazy place and just deal with them all. But that's not going to happen because I'm no in charge. But you would think be taking out all these nuclear silos and that. It wouldn't quite. Obviously, there's still conventional wars and stuff like that. But I thought the nukes were all deactivated anyway. Or is there some of them that are still not deactivated? Or some of them shielded for being deactivated?
I mean, they say that Area 51 has technologies, and there's actually patents out there to back up this statement up, that they have technologies to block astral projection.
No,
anybody tries to go to astral project inside Area 51, this thing zaps them right out.
So they'll have nuclear warheads then that are basically...
If they got that to protect Area 51, they're going to have that to protect some of their most sophisticated weapons. Knowing that other governments of the world, the Russians and the Chinese, have also experimented with psychic ability for the use of espionage and have actually gotten somewhere with it.
What's that there? Rev and Melissa's brought up there. What's that? I don't think they're doing that already.
I think they are doing that to us already, one by one. I know many ET experiencers, so a lot of people like us already in the know. And that's also allegedly part of it. Slowly introduce themselves to the outcasts. The story's going to get leaked out. Therefore, it's going to become a little bit more familiar. You're going to hear these stories. You may toss them aside at first, but all of a sudden, you may start seeing things or noticing things that match up to the description of contactees. Therefore, you're going to start being a little bit more open-minded to the topic. You probably still be skeptical, which is a wise move, but...
Do you think you've ever bumped into an ET in human form? Because I kind of obviously you've got Nordics and stuff like that too. And is that at convention? At that convention,
there was one gal there who stuck out.
But it's weird because
there was at least 15, but there was at least one.
It's weird because last week I was out just wandering about and I bumped into this guy and he was really weird. I don't know, there was just something weird about him. Tall, really tall, and he had blonde hair and stuff like that. And I was talking about him for ages, and I felt like I knew him. It was really weird that he was like a tourist. He was visiting the village. It was really weird, and I felt like I knew him. Really nice guy, yeah. And he seemed awfully friendly. And
you
then
remember that story
I turned when he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, how the hell did he go away so quick? Because there's a fence, there's a road, there was nobody there.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I've run into a few people like that, but one most recently.
He had blue eyes. I can remember that.
She was very tall, had some Nordic features.
Blonde.
Beautiful gal, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
Strange.
I was starting to draw things in the little journal they gave us, and she noticed. And I don't know. Felt like she was trying to tap into me, tap into
What's that famous?
telepathy.
What's that famous desert in America? It's known for like weird things happening. And when people drive through it, they see weird UFOs and that. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Down in
I listened.
Nevada, yeah.
I listened to a story the other night, and it was this woman. She was given a.
Extraterrestrial highway.
Aye, that's it. Thank you, extraterrestrial highway. It was. She was given this story. She'd rented a car, and she was driving through this, and she stopped at the local gas station. And the guy says, "Listen, don't stop out there. It's really weird out there. Don't stop." There's meant to be like a race of extraterrestrials live there or something. I can't remember where it is. It's weird.
There's a couple different spots that max that direction, but if you're talking about the stretch of road that is known as extraterrestrial highway, that particular stretch of road is literally on the outside of Area 51.
Right. Well, what had happened was, and this is a true story. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. The woman, she's driving through, and she gets a flat. Mm-hmm. She pulls over at the side of the road, and she's like,
"Oh wait, I think I know which one you're talking about now."
She says, "Shit, I've got a flat. Oh, I'll just change it then." So she gets out, and it's daylight. It's daylight, and she gets out, and it's like a straight road. There's desert. There's nothing about. There's no hills or anything like that. She gets out, and because I was listening to her, she was actually talking on a radio show. She was telling her story, and she's like, she looks in the boot and she says, "Right, there's it there." And she started to change her wheel, and she didn't care what she was doing. And she bent over to jack the car up, and she went, and she heard, "Excuse me, what are you doing out here?" These two guys were standing behind her. She didn't know where they came from. They just appeared, and they were weird looking. Their clothes were weird looking. They were kind of shiny. She said they looked like clothes, but they were kind of shiny. And they went, "You shouldn't stop here. It's not really safe for you here. We'll do this for you." And within 5 minutes, they changed the wheel. They just changed the wheel for her.
Mm-hmm.
And they put it back in. And says, "Right, into your car, right, go now. Off you go now. There's a garage 6 miles up the road. Go and get that spare repaired." And she went opened her purse because she was going to give them something for doing it. And she looked, and they were gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can't remember exactly where it was, but I know the story you're talking about. They suspected that it was an entrance to Lemuria that was nearby.
Yes, that's it. Aye, that's it.
I remember.
Aye. I look. I ken all about us. I ken about us all. Because I think the day knows about us. I really do think they knows about us quite regularly.
Well, at least the ones that can blend in.
And do you think there's any actors out there that are aliens?
A couple.
Mm-hmm. It's like pop stars, too. There's some pop stars out there that are just downright weird.
True, but then there's also
maybe that's the drugs and stuff like that. But
drugs will do that. But that goes into some of the remarks where you see videos of like Beyonce dancing, and all of a sudden you see her making all these like, and it's the people saying, "Oh, it's a demon coming out. A demon's coming out."
No,
adrenaline does that shit too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think. Why would you want to stay here? That's the thing that I can't fathom, right? You're for a society that's like Star Trek kind of like weirdness, right? They've got no money. They've got great health. They don't need to worry about money. They don't need to worry about these things, right? And then they come to this shithole to stay here among us. I mean, are they here for a reason? Are they here for like maybe they're deliberately here so they can just watch us?
Possibly, but there's also been a few. You got to take into consideration it's not as black and white as a lot of people assume. There could be some of them who are just here. Like you hear these stories about people who live their lives in the big city and everything's there they could ever want, but they choose to live out in a small rural town because it's a lot more simple and relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
So according to some sources, that's a lot of their reasoning. But in the same time, you got to wonder yourself, because even sources like Dolores Cannon all come out and say, "Oh, this planet's one of the worst."
That is so weird, that, because I'm trying to find out the new Mother YouTube channel. That's that old woman. She's passed away now, Dolores.
Yeah, you tried getting me to get her on the show. It's like, dude, she's dead.
She was still alive. I didn't think she was dead. Because she was doing lives, and I'm sitting there in the lives. I'm like, "Hello, Dolores. You know what's in my back?"
Well, yeah, because they were doing like we used to do on StreamYard. They were playing old videos, made it look like lives. No, Melissa just got confused at one of mine not too long ago. But also, like Dot says, a lot of them are here because they're genetic relatives.
God, I don't want to come back here. Do you have to come back here? Please.
Yeah, no, it's almost
the
like
love of God.
The equivalent of finding out you have relatives from the deep south and go to stay with them.
And they're sitting in the porch going.
Yeah, like the possible distant relatives who found out I was in Georgia for a layover, messaging me. I was like, I'm only here for a layover. I'm not here long.
Oh my God. What's that? Dolores has visited me in my, what was that? Well, Reverend, in spirit, she is a powerful being. Dolores, if you can hear me, please visit Dakota tonight when he's sleeping. Right, so see if an old woman comes to you in the night. Tell me if that happens.
Yeah, how do we know it's not going to be?
Don't come to me, because there's no point coming to me, by the way, because I wear industrial earplugs. A freight train could go past me and I wouldn't hear it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I have bad sleepwalking tendencies. Enough to where I can be abducted by ETs and not really notice. So if someone goes to talk with me, if I'm been stressed out, I have a tendency to sleepwalk, sleep talk.
Honestly.
I'm afraid of being that I might be a sex somniac some days.
Dots MC, turn on the spirit box. I don't have a spirit box. I don't really use spirit boxes.
And I'm kind of, well...
He'll get into a trance or something, getting what you call it, possessed by...
Oh, God!
Like that.
You should have seen what happened to me when I was with Nikki Allen at the conference. No, seriously, people were starting to get scared because I didn't pull out right away.
Pull out of what?
The trance she put the whole audience in. I've
Who
actually
put everybody in the audience?
I was in the conference I went to in Orlando. There was a psychic there who put us all into a trance.
That's right. She messaged me. If I mention that certain word, you think you're a chicken. I can't somebody that happened to. Fuck.
Yeah, I would love to, be able to learn, hypnosis and just do that on the air.
Folk have tried to hypnotize me, but I can't be hypnotized. I've 3 people.
You do realize it is possible to be too stupid to hypnotize.
It's not the fact that I'm stupid. It's the fact that I find it ridiculous. I mean, I've seen everybody up on the stage dump about, think they were chickens and ducks and stuff like that, and I'm like, what the bloody shit this is?
Mm-hmm.
But I know people that used to smoke about 80 cigarettes a day. I shit you not. 80 a day. And they went to hypnotist, and they come back, and the next day they never, ever, ever smoked another cigarette.
Oh, good for them. Yeah, nothing to be touching that shit.
They did know. So, yeah. Yeah. Go to 75.
Oh, not bad these days.
Stopped smoking when I was 73.
Yeah, there's also those cases.
My grandmother's. Shit. It only lasted like 3 years, I think.
It happens.
At least she was laughing. Save some money.
I know, right? I mean, what is it?
Turn the spirit box on, Dots. We're getting possessed. I know I see Dakota getting possessed with the alien Vizorgon or something like that.
Oh, we could do it. It's been a while since we've done a session like that on air.
Oh, is that necrophonic one, the creepy one?
Oh, people just don't get creeped out when they realize there's a sigil in it. Oh,
the Palabo. What's that? He's going on about that. The placebo effect.
Placebo effect. Yeah, it's
That's
possible.
very true. I think we should get Dots hypnotized. And we'll get a secret word that we can use.
Yeah. Make him think he's Bruce Springsteen. Get a brief performance.
I would love to see you getting hypnotized. I'd be like, listen, see, before he comes round, can I get him to say a couple of things with a certain special word when I say Cocoa Pops or something like that, you know?
I don't know about you, man.
Look, you've got to throw some humour into this. Even the Galactic Federation, bound to be humorous. Well, maybe no answer. I mean, I've heard he's a wee bit strange, but the rest of them, they have a wee bit of comedy in it, you know? If you didn't have comedy, you'd have sadness.
Yeah, very true. It's hard to argue with that notion.
You know, and when they were picking your when you were like at in the space station, you were standing there all handsome with your blonde hair blowing in the wind, you know, next to the airlock, and the guy's like, right, let's pick his body, right? What will we make him look like?
I actually look like my slightly uglier brother.
They'll be like, right, he's going to have a brother, but let's make him even more hideous than his brother. I'm telling you.
What happened with you and your brothers? None of y'all look alike.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I turned out the handsomest one. You could be lost. You could be like Drew, where he talks about tanks 99% of the time.
I feel like I would have seen your picture on a list somewhere.
It's handsome year of the board. You know, I can't help it with the Scottish accent. You know. Right, go on, turn on your ghost box before I die of boredom or get beamed up by aliens.
Hold on. I've got a different setup now to where I can run everything on my phone through my computer. See if I can get it to patch through. Can you hear it?
No.
No? Shit.
No.
Turn off.
I can hear that buzzing now.
Come on. Speak up. God damn it. It's not going to work. Well, something else I can try.
I was wanting a reply for the Galactic Federation there. I was wanting 6 months holiday. Back on a planet somewhere. Oh! I thought we'd lost you there. Oh my god. What the hell was that? Is any of you guys in the chat get earphones on? It's his fault. What's that? Can you all tell me what the green highlight on your names is? I know admins are blue.
Fuck, you can't hear me. Oh. That is actually a membership that we now offer on the Bald and Bonkers channel for 99 cents a month.
See? I'll do it too. I'll speak.
Why can't I fucking hear Chris now? Shit!
Can you not hear me?
God damn it. Hold on.
Ground
Fuck.
control. Do you want me to sing a song for these all?
There we go.
Major Tom.
There we go. I'm here. I'm here. I can hear you now.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right. What was that? Because you melted my eardrums.
Well, no, I was answering Melissa's question here.
All right. Aye. I become a member. It's 99 cents. We're saving up so Dakota can get a blonde wig to make him look like the Palladian guy that he used to be. You know.
You know, I actually have a picture of what I used to look like, right?
Oh, no, here we go. Here we go. Here, How do you ken that's actually
What?
what you look like? You could be totally different. That might be an image that they're just putting into your head to make you feel at ease. You could be a big blob with 10 eyeballs, or you know.
Why do you keep having that fantasy about me?
I don't know. It's like a memory that's inbuilt in me. I remember this blob with 10 eyeballs.
I don't think it's a fucking memory. I think it's just your little fantasy.
Tentacles, man.
You
Tentacles.
should probably be.
Tentacles.
You should probably save that shit for your girlfriend.
Look, I have memories of extraterrestrials. I'll have, and I can remember ones that were purple. Well, never mind. We'll not really get into that. But I can also remember ones that were blue. The blue ones are interesting. The big, tall blue ones. They're interesting.
Sure.
Oh,
all right.
What? You liked?
Okay.
Hearing the story
I hit the wrong button. I
hit
the wrong button again.
You like the story about the purple vans? Couldn't you shut them up? See what I was telling them about. What's that? Thank you, Dakota. No. Did I get a Snickers bar with that 99 cents?
No, that go for the Patreon page and go for the $10 a month membership. That's about what inflation does.
I don't know but I'm a fan of candy.
Yeah, we know.
Look, there's nothing wrong with having some sweet.
You like sucking your fisherman friend?
Yeah. There's nothing. Hey, fisherman friends are lovely. I was sucking too today.
Yeah. Hey, I admit it gets lonely out at sea, but man, but come on.
I was walking around the graveyard, and there's cough lozenges, by the way. I'm just addicted to them. And I was in the graveyard today because it is Remembrance Saturday. Tomorrow's Remembrance Sunday, obviously. I thought it was last week, but it's today. I had my poppy on. So, you know.
You know what I just realized?
What?
We're wearing the same shirt.
My God. We're twins. It's like that film. It's like that film, Arnold Schwarzenegger, isn't it? It's like that film, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito?
Aye, you're Danny DeVito and I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, you look more like Danny DeVito than I do.
Look. It's a Haynes manual.
Nothing's on.
Haynes manual. It's got a Haynes manual on it. The Starship Enterprise, I think. No, a motorbike, sorry. I've got one in the Starship Enterprise. You know, all that kind of stuff.
What the fuck is that supposed to be?
Oh, come on! Don't tell me you don't watch Star Trek, the original series. You know?
I've never actually watched Star Trek. No.
End in the chat. Come on, end in the chat. Have you watched the original Star Trek, the one where they play that tune? There you go. But you got to remember, he's younger. He might look like he's 73, but he's only 27. You're only 27.
What the fuck?
What?
Dude, did anybody just hear that?
What, the air
After the horn. After the air horn.
What was it like?
There was like a whisper that came through.
I'm coming to get you, Dakota.
Please, did anybody in the chat fucking hear that?
I heard something, but I would need to go back and listen to it. I've got earphones on. I just thought that was you.
No, that wasn't me.
Aye. That's the Galactic Federation getting ready to beam me up.
Yeah. Oh,
there's
fuck,
somebody in the chat heard that.
Yeah. Thank you, Ken.
No, it's Ken and John Morris. He heard something.
John. Okay. We have some
play the horn again, see if it does it. Let's play the horn again, see if it does it.
Why? Oh, wait. No.
Tom Jones.
Now speak.
Hello. I'm here.
That's weird that your signal cut out like that.
What? Because I've turned into a weird voice?
I don't know, man.
You're very pixelated.
I don't know. Yes, you are.
No, you're pixelated. For
probably look better. Probably wouldn't look so bad if I turned off the green screen.
You do look. That's better.
Yeah.
That's better. That is better, I must admit.
But this looks
So
cooler.
come on, let's. Is that the SP7 you've got there? Is that the SP7 ghost box that you've got there?
Yeah, I have an SP7.
Turn it on then. Do the tear.
I had it on, but it wasn't loud enough to get picked up through my mic.
I can hear it, you know.
Like I'm literally setting it on my mic.
Perfect. Is there anyone from the Galactic Federation would like to speak? Speak now. It's weird how Dakota's signal's going in and out, isn't it? That's weird. Can't hear you, you're muted. You're completely muted. He's muted, isn't he, ladies and gentlemen? See, ladies and gentlemen. Take that thing away from the microphone for a minute and try speaking in. Why? That's weird, that, because his signal dropped. He disappeared for a millisecond, then he came back and we can't hear him. There's nothing there, Dakota. Somebody in the chat, can you hear him? He's having a private spirit combo. Yes. Everybody can hear me. Can't hear him. It's a good job I'm here, so I can talk. You know, nobody can hear you. Look at the chat. Everybody's laughing. Nobody can hear you, man. See, he's getting messages now for the Galactic Federation. Yeah, see, people in the chat can hear me, but people can't hear you. Isn't that strange?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Commander Thorn of the Galactic Federation. How are you?
What the hell was that?
You disappeared for a millisecond and then you came back, froze, and then your sound just went.
Huh.
When I went as the Galactic Federation, as soon as I said that, you disappeared.
Well, I just hit refresh to try to get my signal back. See if that were to help us. 5x5. What do you mean by that, Bradley? Oh, now we can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Well, maybe if you turned my volume back to where it was, you turned my volume down.
Now you fucking real. See, maybe how do I?
I'm fixing that. Change my name back. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's
God. See, this is what happens when we don't come into a show with some sort of game plan.
Look, we've got guests tomorrow night to talk about aliens and UFOs and stuff like that.
Yes. About time. It's been a while since we had a good guest.
I went and got the guests, so next week's your turn to get the guests.
I'm working on it.
Come on, we should do an open panel one night. We should do an open panel next Saturday night. We could do Rev, if she wants to come on. We could do a communication special with the Galactic Federation. What do you think?
We can do a live. You know what we haven't done in a while?
What?
Just kind of. We haven't done a live CE5 session in a long time. That's what we should
do then. See if Rev wants to come on.
Hey.
The experience. Or Dots. You just want to come on? We could have
I know there's some people that are paranoid when it comes to like Dr. Greer's stuff, but CE5 has some pretty solid work behind it. Some of the people that Greer associates with, that's another story.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you're in luck because see the guests tomorrow night. One of them runs one of his groups. So we'll be able to talk
well, here's the thing. With some of the recent stuff I've been working on to make this company shine, we may actually start be able to get some even more high-profile guests.
Who indeed will that be, my young man?
We'll see. We'll see who gets interested.
Yeah, I'm going to play
sounds like she's in.
Tones. I'm going to play. Yep, that'd be great. I'm going to play CE5 tones tonight because see outside it's -5 right now outside. I don't know what that is in yours, Fahrenheit or whatever. But see tonight I could see all the stars, really beautiful tonight, the Milky Way and stuff. I'm going to play it tonight and see if I can go back and see what happens. I want to see if I can get a UFO to fly over.
I wanna.
Any luck, it'll beam me up and they'll bring me back.
Yeah, it'll be like that one incident where you scream, "Take me!" Then all of a sudden your signal went away and you disappeared.
Again, mind to that. I went,
that was fucking hilarious. Oh dear Lord. I didn't resist.
Close Encounters of the Twat
of
kind.
The nipple kind. The twat kind. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You should write your memoirs one day, Dakota. And I was sitting there that night. The point of light came into my room and took me away. And I seen myself what I really looked like. I was a blob with 15 tentacles and 3 eyeballs.
I've been working on one, actually.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Disclose all the latest evidence, some photos, stuff I've never felt before. Get really deep and personal.
I wonder what
alien abductions.
I wonder what's going to be like when the aliens that actually came here. In 10 years from now, I wonder what the world will look like if aliens come down.
Well, let's just think about it like this. Look how much changed in the last, let's say 4 years, almost 5 years. How much the world's changed.
Technology-wise,
we bring in the influence of ETs. The changes in that 5 years will look like nothing.
But it's quite interesting. This is somebody says to me the other day there. It's hard to see when you really think about where you are right now on the earth. I was sitting in my car the other day and I was looking at the mountains in Scotland. It's a kind of hilly range and I was looking at them and I was thinking, oh, they're covered in snow and they're beautiful. But I was sitting thinking to myself, I was thinking, we're on a planet and we're not a flat earth guys. You see the flat earthers, they're just idiots. We're on a planet that's going round about a sun that's in a galaxy, right? Which is in a universe, and we're going through space now. I mean, that's quite, if you really think about it. And it makes you wonder the other civilizations that's out there, all the other millions of civilizations that's out there right now. Just think one day they'll pick up this transmission for this. God help them. That's all I'm going to say is, I'm sorry you had to see this. Let's hope they take 3D 9-to-5 jobs so we can
3-day 9-to-5 jobs and have vacay. Yeah, right. Wouldn't that be nice?
The financial system will collapse. We know that.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. Maybe that's exactly what we need, though.
A clean slate. You know?
Yeah, sometimes you just got to tear shit down in order to build something new.
That's very true. So, ladies and gentlemen, the hour is upon us. Pop in tomorrow for an interesting discussion. We will be talking about... Who's the show tomorrow? What's their names? All about beer, isn't it? Am I right? Oh my God.
The truth about beer.
The truth about beer.
We're going to get drinking, boys. No, just kidding.
Well, I'll tell you that down there, my boy. That's American style.
Yeah, as if the Bald and Bonkers Boys need alcohol.
Oh my God. What's that band that's got coming up there? Meet Elron Fedris Files. What's this? Episode 4. What is that? Is that you talking about the aliens?
Yeah. Hey, you got your segments. I got mine.
I've never said anything about it. I'm just asking.
I'm just saying.
You know? Yeah. Just asking.
Yeah, we got brand new France and Files. Has some stuff on there that some people might be interested in. And if you want to see high definition videos that aren't interrupted by signal interruptions, you can just subscribe to the company Patreon page.
Yes. What is it? $10 and you get books and everything?
$10 for full benefits, yes.
See, that's actually reasonably good because you're getting access to all the books.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I've been thinking a little something I've been kind of contemplating to try to help, do our little thing about helping, creators out there. What if we put out some music on that as well? We have the channels to do it.
Alien music. Well, they're having Star Wars with that band.
Music people that they can download and use in their own videos so they're not having to pay out the ass for royalties.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, help some people out with that, yeah.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. $10 a month. What's that a week? That's not really that much. Was that $1 a week or something like that? Yeah, it's not that much. A cup of coffee. What does a coffee cost now?
Coffee costs more than that. What are you talking about?
I don't pay hardly anything for my coffee at Starbucks.
Yeah, no, you got your niece that works at the Starbucks.
Still have to pay for that. I still have to pay like £1 or something like that. The McFlurry one's quite nice with the. See the cakes up there, they're lovely.
I don't really go to Starbucks.
I've not been there for a long time. It's been a year since I've been back there.
Are you having withdrawals?
My ancestors are from Ireland. Track? Huh?
Are you having withdrawals and that's why you're keeping track?
Well, no, because
my God,
there's caffeine in my Iron Brew. Oh, it's lovely and zesty and fruity at the same time.
I know. The first couple sips taste like bubblegum cream soda.
Yep. You can get a 24-pack here for like $10.
Hey, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I just got myself a big 2 liters while I was over there. Look at my tour guide and say, I think I have a drinking problem.
Yeah. I drink about 4 cans a day. It's full of sugar. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you tomorrow night. Remember, share us out, subscribe, share, and like. Click all the links. Think of becoming a Patreon member. £10 a month or whatever. $10. It's actually cheaper. And we'll see you all tomorrow night. Bye-bye. Have a safe night.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers Boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.
Still live. From ground control. Still live.
We're still fucking live. Why is this not shutting down like it's supposed to? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Would you like to?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers Boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mould promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Ladies and gentlemen, for this episode, please be advised to not drink and drive.
But
you're drinking and podcast.
I'm on the
drinking and podcast.
I am brew.
Yeah, like
what the hell is that?
Alcohol,
oh, that's Scotland's national drink. You gotta be in
Scotland. You never heard of I am brew?
I see.
Yeah, it's supposed to promote it as a big manly soda, big manly drink, but yet when you taste it, it tastes like bubblegum cream soda.
Oh wow!
It's look, you Americans have got your Dr. Peppers and your what do you call it, Pepsis and all that kind of stuff, right? We have got Iron Brew. When he was out here in Scotland, he was walking about with big bottles, drinking it and all that kind of stuff. You know,
we're rednecks. We're bush light. We're rednecks.
What's that? Is that like a real beer or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's $10 a 30-pack.
Advised.
Yes.
Yeah.
Warned. You're in for a treat tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you go to Dakota? I'll not interrupt you. There you go.
No, go ahead. Well, Chris, you know these guys more than I do. Why don't you go ahead?
Ladies and gentlemen, I had the honor of doing a show about in tribute to Mike the Naked Bigfoot, and these guys were on the show, which was an interesting night. I will say that because with a medium on, and Joey got a weird reading, you know, and Tim was telling us about his UFO experience, and I thought, you know something, we need to get them on the Bald and Bonkers show, you know. I've just noticed nearly everybody here's bald. Out of curiosity, Tim, do you have hair?
Okay, so my brain came out of my head. I had a coyote on a motorcycle. My brain came out of my head, and I usually keep just a little on here to hide the scars. But
really,
he's sexy bald. I'm not.
Oh, I shaved just for the show because I knew.
Yeah, I'm a dick with ears. He looks good. He looks like Breaking Bad.
It's weird that it's weird that because I've noticed people in the paranormal and the UFO theater are mostly bald. It's so strange. I don't know if it's like the radiation coming in for the UFOs are making all
the stress. They've lost all their hair because of the stress.
Yeah,
I started going bald when I started in this.
Anxiety.
You know,
stress and anxiety. Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll let it fill up a bit. I mean, there's Dots in the chat already. There's Dots already. He's for Island, guys. He'll be sitting with his cup of tea in the noon. His
I was about to say, I would expect the Irishman to come in for the beer.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. And please, guys, the link's in the chat. Please go and subscribe to their channel because it's a brilliant channel. Let's get you up to. You're nearly at 1,000 now. How many subscribers are you sitting at?
Okay, well, I think we'll start this off at the beginning. So, about 6 months ago, was it? Because we started, we started The Truth About Beer. It's still a legitimate channel that I still do things with. But Tim and I kind of broke off from there about 6 months ago and started out there with Papa Joey and Uncle Tim. So we have another channel that we're trying to build. Right. So the Truth About Beer got kind of confusing for a lot of people because they didn't know what we were going to talk about. And Tim was part of it, but he and I always kind of leaned to the paranormal end of things, and our other host wanted to do some other things that,
political,
I just couldn't totally get
Oh,
into. So
we're in the right place with us. We talk about everything, UFO and political and all those mad things. I mean, we got a video Tane doing a couple of weeks ago because we mentioned the jibby jab.
Yeah, only on one of our channels. But
Only
everywhere
one of
else, it's still there.
We've got loads of them. We've got loads of channels. I mean, loads. I mean, Dakota uploads onto the podcast side of stuff. So, obviously, I would love to hear all about your UFO stuff. And obviously, with the thumbnail tonight, you're standing in the cockpit. That's a good picture, by the way. That is a good one where you're like pointing. Tim, can you tell us a wee bit about that? Because you went into it a wee bit the last time on the tribute for Mike's Naked Bigfoot, but could you get into a wee bit more for us tonight?
Yeah. So what I want you to do is I want to play you a little bit of the transcripts of what actually is heard through the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, and it's actual communication with the pilot and ground control and everything. But it started off, it was a flight from Tampa to Las Vegas, flight 564. I think we left at 9 o'clock. And as you head toward Vegas, you gain an hour. And so we got on, I think, at midnight, which was like a 4.5, 5 hour flight. But then by the time you get there, the time changed. So we're flying. I was working first class. I was a flight attendant, and I'd already taken care of first class. And this is late at night. So we call it the red eye. And most people just have a drink, eat their food, and they're out. They sleep the whole time. It's rare that you see anybody up on those flights. So I took care of the first class. There was 14 people in first class. I took care of them. And then after I took care of them, I go up and I sit in the jump seat with the guys, because I know all of them, and, we're all good friends. So after Tampa, we get over to the panhandle of Texas, and John, our first officer, says, "Hey man, come check out the storm." And so I go up there and I sit right behind him. And a 757's cockpit is pretty wide. It's wider than most. And there's no engineer or no navigator. So there's a lot of room in the cockpit. So I sat behind, and I'm like looking at the storm as we're flying right over Lubbock, Texas. And I'm watching all the lightning and the incredible, and it's just amazing. And so anyway, we're just sitting there, and we pass all the thunderstorm, and then John's reading his Baja magazine, because he races motorcycles through California, the Baja in Mexico. He does all that stuff. Eugene Tollison was a captain. He was over there doing positions report. It was his leg, so he was doing all the the paperwork and the position reports and everything. And so we're just sitting there and just normal. And I looked out the window at about 2 o'clock, and I saw boom, sh, boom, boom, sh, boom. It was a light, bright strobe. And then it was a thin light that ran to the other one, and then it went boom. So it was like boom, sh, boom. And I looked right out at 2 o'clock, and I'm like, "John, what is that?" And he looked up. There was dead silence in here, and we're like, "What the hell is that?" And so immediately he picks up the radio and starts talking to ground control in Albuquerque Center. And then you can hear the whole transmission of him saying, "Hey, we're looking at something up here with bright strobes on it. We don't know what it is. Can you tell us what it is?" And they're like, "No, we have nothing in the area." They called Bigfoot. They called NORAD. They called everyone. And they're like, "No, nothing." And then the story is amazing. I wish you could hear the transcript.
Well, we could do that.
We can do that. Do you mind if we play that for you?
I just need
let's do it.
Need to set it up. So here's the funny thing: if you go on to YouTube and you have to put in the whole name, so you put in America West Airlines flight
Case
564. You don't have to put in case; you just have to put in the flight.
Okay, all right.
You'll find all kinds of information on it.
There's a lot of remakes on it, but they're not all accurate because, that'll be the story.
The funny thing, Smithsonian Channel did a story on it, and he changed sex on that one.
The flight attendant was a girl, which I don't have a problem with that. But I mean, nobody's talked to us. We weren't allowed to talk to anyone. So they've recreated it based on their information that they have, and they've all gotten it a little wrong. But bless their hearts, they tried because anyway, there's so much more to the story. But
I'm gonna set
take a look at this. It's just listen to it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I won't share my screen until I get it set up here. So you can keep talking, Tim.
Fire away. Tell us more.
But I tell you, it changed my life. It totally changed my life. I mean, I'm a different person, and once you see something like an abduction, people have been abducted. It's changed their lives, and they don't expect anybody to believe them, but it changes their lives. Now, in the very beginning, when this happened to me, I wanted to try to tell everyone what happened and make them believe what I believed. But then after a while, I got to the point where, you know what? It's not really about other people believing me. It's about just experiencing the sighting, the incident for myself, and growing and learning and dealing with it myself. It's not about whether or not people believe you, because there are so many people that think I'm a nut.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was just like
been there.
So it changed my life, and it wasn't until I met Joey and Keith, and I've kept this to myself for many years. That was 1995, and Joey and Keith, they heard about my story, and I shared it with them, and they're like, "Oh man, you've got to come on and share this story. It's amazing." And I've got so much evidence, documented evidence, so it's not like my story. It's there. But nobody knew that I was the flight attendant on that airplane, and that's one of the reasons I'm happy, because I never got, I wasn't like a Travis Walton, I wasn't like a media blitz. Nobody hounded me and made fun of me, and I didn't get recognized, and I loved that. So, but now that I'm able to talk about it, it's wonderful.
I'm getting there, I swear. If I get,
I mean, it must have been quite a shock to you seeing them just appear like that. I mean, what did the pilots say? Obviously, the pilots are like, "What in the name of God is that?"
Yeah.
Did they ever see after the incident? Did they ever talk about it, or were they told to stay quiet about it?
Yeah, you're going to hear the whole story. Let's do it in chronological order.
Yeah.
You ready?
So I'll see if this will work. So I shared the screen,
let's see this.
All right.
Well, I understand. Let's proceed. Don't show me again. What? I'm going to this channel. That's the one I want.
All
yes.
Right. Yeah, just check this out.
Let me go full screen. Hit play. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
All right.
Perfect.
Cheers. Enjoy this. This is amazing.
I don't hear any sound here.
Oh, we did.
Can you hear the sound on it?
Yep.
Yeah, sound's coming through.
Next 564, man. Yeah, on to 3 o'clock. Getting strokes out there. Do you know what it is? I'll tell you what, that's some, right now, I don't know what it is right now. There is a restricted area that's used by the military out here in the daytime. Yeah, it's gone. Hold on, let me see if anybody else knows around here. Albuquerque, Santa America 1359 at 310, we get light shop. American 1359, Albuquerque Center, roger, nothing more than a very occasional light shop in that area. Hey. 564, did you pay that object at all? Cactus 564, no I don't. Talking to the 3 or 4 guys around here, no one knows what that is. Never heard about that. Nobody's paying it at all? Okay, Cactus 564, second. There's nothing on the radar from the other centers at all on that particular area, that object that's up in the air? It's up in the air? Affirmative. No, no one knows anything about it. What's the altitude about? I don't know, probably right around 30,000 or so, and it's 12, it starts going counterclockwise, and the length is unbelievable. Cannon 21.
Cannon, go ahead.
Hey, guys, know if there was anything like a tethered balloon or anything released that should be above high band?
No, we haven't heard nothing about it.
Okay. Guy at 39,000 says he sees something at 30,000. The length is unbelievable and it has a strobe on it. This is not good.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's a UFO, so it's a Roswell crap again.
Where's it at now?
He says it's right in time, man.
It's right in time. No, we haven't seen nothing like that.
Okay, keep your eyes open.
Foxtrot Kilo.
X564, we checked with Cannon. They don't have any weather balloons or anything up tonight. Nobody up front knows any idea about that. You still see it? Negative. That's where we initially spotted it. It was between the weather and Addison. When the lightning, you can see a dark object. And it was pretty eerie looking. The aircraft off to the right here going east now. Maybe you'll see it. Okay. First time in 15 years I've ever seen anything like it. Arcade 5 in the next about 2 to 3 minutes. Be looking off to your right side. If you see anything about 30,000 feet, one aircraft reporting does something. There wasn't a weather balloon or anything. It was a long, white-looking thing with a strobe on it. Let me know if you see anything out there. What did you see? It said it was about 30,000. Cactus 564, you still? Primitive 564. And that was south of your position? It was north. Arcade 5, let's make it out the left window now. Any traffic up on left lane right now? I've got something passing off here 9 o'clock in about 12 at 31 westbound. Good. Hey, you guys don't know anything about some kind of a weather balloon or UFO that's out in the vicinity of Fort Sumner tonight, do you? I don't think so. Stand by. Okay. At this point, the answer to that question is no. I was at 564's last time. Just for our notes, we're going to take a minute. Was that in a restricted area? That was just basically south of Terry where we reported it. Okay, the way you went through, the only restricted area is off your south side, nothing to the north side. And those restricted areas are inactive. There shouldn't be anything going on.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, I didn't know if you happen to know of anything going on out there. No balloons in the area, no nothing reported.
Okay, where is this at again?
It's at, you know where it's in Tucumcari, New Mexico. It's about 150 miles to the east of Albuquerque.
Okay, how far from Holloman?
Holloman, it looks like it's off the 030 Holloman for about 220 miles.
Okay, I think. Okay, it's kind of hard for us to see here. Okay, 030 for about 200. We don't have anything going on that I know of.
Yeah, I didn't know. We've tried everybody else. Nobody else is. This guy definitely saw it run all the way down the side of the airplane. So it was a pretty interesting thing out there.
Okay, it was at 30,000 feet.
30,000 feet.
It was like long.
Yeah, it's right out of the X-Files. I mean, it's a definite UFO or something like that. But I mean,
y'all are serious about this.
Yeah, he's real serious about it too. And he looked at it, saw it. No balloons were reported tonight. Nothing in the area.
And it was strobing out the front. He said.
I think the strobe was off the tail end of it.
Okay, strobe tail.
He said it was it was dark, but he said there was lights in it.
How long did he think it was?
He said it was 300 to 400 foot long.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. And we don't have any air carriers out here, so they're strobing along.
The only thing that
Yeah, not that far to the north.
To me, it would sound like an aerostat, but I don't think ours are that big, though.
Yeah, no, and they're more like a this is like some sort of.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
So, I mean,
Wow.
if you just listen to those transcripts, you really don't. I mean, that just said everything. It said everything. I can tell you the story that led up to it and what happened during and all that stuff. But this right here was subpoenaed by the Freedom of Information Act, and it was released. And nobody's ever. I mean, it's not been on CNN. It's not been on Fox News. It's not been on anything. The hard
It should have
copy
been.
sightings, A&E, 48 Hours. They all did shows. Smithsonian, they did shows on it, but that's all they had to go on. So they recreated several little shorts to make it look like what happened, but nobody really knows the real story.
That's why they stereotyped you as a woman.
Yeah, because it was a flight. It was a stewardess.
Flight attendant.
A stewardess. But
That's-
yeah, it was amazing. It was totally amazing. The hair was on the back of my neck. I was crying. I had chills. It changed my life. I can't. So I saw it, and then the thunder, the lightning, and the thunderstorms back in the panhandle of Texas lit up, and it went from 2 o'clock, and then it went to 3 o'clock, and then went down, and then it went right into the cell of thunderstorms, and it disappeared into the storm. And me and Eugene and John are looking at each other going, dude, what the hell was that? And we didn't know. So Eugene he reached up, he says, I'm going to follow it. And John reached over and says, no. He was going to take it off autopilot and actually turn toward it because he was in shock. And John's like, no, you can't do that. We'll get shot down, man. I mean, no, you can't do that because we weren't thinking right. And so we breathe, and we're like, all right, we're calming down. And eventually he goes, I'm going to draw a picture of it. How about if I draw a picture of it? He goes, can we agree on that? And he got out a piece of paper, and we all drew the picture of it. And we drew exactly what we saw. And it's never been illustrated the same way as the picture we drew. But so we go along as normal, and I get up and I go back into the back, and I'm talking to the other crew members, and like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, are we on time? I'm like, yeah, we're on time. I meant, we just saw a UFO. And they're like, what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, cool, man. So we deadhead from Las Vegas to Phoenix. So and I'm like, dude, you guys didn't hear what I said. We just saw a freaking UFO. And they're like, all right, well, cool. What it look like? Yeah. I'm like, never mind. Went back into the cockpit. We talked, and we're like, all right, guys, we just have to calm down about this. This is, we're shocked. So we pull in, we go into gradual, go into final, and we land, and we go up to the gate in Vegas, and we pull into the gate. And as soon as we pull into the gate, I'm in the front of a 757, and I'm looking out the hole, and there's men in suits. I don't say black. They had suits on. And so Eugene, ding dong. I said, hey. He goes, yeah, there's a bunch of guys here. Just get identification before you let anybody in. I'm like, no problem. So I hung up, and the door opens, and I start saying goodbye to everyone. And there's like 3 guys in suits out there with a security officer, because in Las Vegas, the police force is called Metro. And so there were a couple of policemen, and there were the guy in suits. There was a supervisor for our airline, and there was all these people on the jetway. So I started like, all right, and I'm shaking, and I'm like, all right, goodbye, thank you, have a good night, good luck in Vegas, blah 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 blah. And so the first class people kind of walked out, and there was a lull because people are getting their luggage. And like a man walked up to me, and he handed me an ID. He goes, I need to speak to the captain. And I said, I need your ID, please. And he handed me his ID. Now, I glanced at it. And listen, I've been around the FAA for 40 years. I know what the FAA is. And it says FAA in big blue letters on the background of their IDs. I know what FAA is. This badge that they handed me had a seal and had stuff on it I didn't recognize. And I'm like, all right, one moment, please. And so I took the thing, and I went into the captain, and I said, there's guys here. They want to talk to you. And he looked at the ID. He goes, oh, okay, let him in. So I walked back out, and I'm like, you're welcome to go in, sir. And he walked in, and the door shut. And they were in there while I'm saying, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. You know, thank you. And so there was another lull, because the 757 is a big airplane. And one of the gentlemen stepped in, and he goes, hey, how are you doing tonight? I'm like, I'm doing all right. Is there something wrong? And he goes, nope, just doing a routine, inspection. I'm like, Okay.
Yeah, how often
Bullshit.
have you seen that?
Yeah, never. I've never even. I mean, FAA show up, but they're just one guy, and he comes in, he introduces himself, he tells you exactly why he's there, he's doing a check ride or whatever. This was not that, and so I'm like, yeah, everything's wonderful. Anything out of the ordinary tonight? And I'm like, no, sir. Why? Is there something wrong? He goes, nope, just. And he stepped back out of the jetway, and he stayed in there, and he was standing there with a guy, and I told everybody goodbye and everything. All of a sudden, the cockpit door opened. This guy walks out and walks into the jetway, and they all start talking. So I turn around and I look inside the cockpit, and John's coming out, because now that we've arrived at Vegas, we have to deadhead from Vegas to Phoenix. That means in 45 minutes, we get on a flight and we just ride home. We're not working. So John comes out of the cockpit, and I look up at him, and he goes, "You didn't see nothing." And I'm like, okay, cool. Because I can see him, but they can't see me because he's coming out of the cockpit. So he walks out and goes into the jetway, and then Eugene walks out, and his face is like, oh my God. And he walks out, and he goes into, and they all leave. And so they're gone. And I'm saying bye. Anyway, everything is normal. So we get with the crew, and they're like, where did the guys go? I'm like, I don't know. Some guys showed up, and I think they took them to talk to them about what we saw. And they're like, did you really see a UFO? And I'm like, yeah, guys, we did. So anyway, we go to the other flight. It was a 737, another gate, and we deadhead home. We just sit in the exit aisle, and we ride home. So we're sitting there waiting to leave, and the flight attendant's like, where are the guys? I'm like, dude, I don't know. I have no idea. So the captain comes on and says, well, folks, welcome aboard. Our flight will be about 45 minutes, and the weather, and we're just waiting on some connecting bags. We'll be on time, so we're just going to take a little delay here because we're waiting on some late baggage and paperwork, and we'll be on our way. Have a good night. And we're sitting here waiting. So the guys come on, and they come down, and Eugene sits on the left side of the plane on the aisle seat, and then John sits on my side of the plane on the aisle seat. And I'm looking at him, and he puts his bag up. He sits down. I'm like, dude, what happened? He goes, shh. I'm like, what? He goes, don't talk about it here. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, man? What happened? And he goes, no. He goes, I'll talk to you when we get to Phoenix. So for 45 minutes, it was awkward because we couldn't even speak to each other. I mean, he didn't even want to social. He was, and his eyes were like stuck out of his head. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So we land, we go through the terminal. We don't talk. We get to the bus that takes us to the employee parking lot. So we're on the bus, and I'm like, hey, he goes, shh. I'm like, oh my God, this is stupid. So we get out. He goes, follow me, because he's parked in a different area than I'm parked. And so I parked. We pull our bags. We go out to the back of his car, and he's like, dude, we didn't see anything. We did not hear anything. We are not to report anything. I don't want to be disappeared in the desert. Mm-hmm. He goes, I will lose my license. I could lose my life. I'm not saying anything. I'm like, what the hell happened? Who were they? He goes, dude, I can't even tell you. He goes, I've already told you too much. Just go home and forget this ever happened. And I'm dumbfounded. I'm driving home, and I'm looking up in the sky, and I'm like, oh shit, whoever that was in that ship, they saw me, and they know I saw them. Mm-hmm. And then as I'm driving home, I feel like they're watching me. I had that feeling that they were right there, and I'm like looking up in the sky, and I'm like, oh shit, they know I saw them. They're following me home. And I was scared to death. And I got home, and I was staying at my mom and dad's that night because I commute. And so I got in at about 4:00 in the morning, and I walked in, and I'm like, Mom, Dad, wake up. And they're like, what? I'm like, listen, I gotta talk to you about something. And so my stepdad, he's like a theologian. He's a Bible scholar. He studied the Strongs and the mm-hmm. Hebrew and the coordinates, and he knows a lot about theology and about scripture and everything like that. So I said, Scotty, you've got to tell me, is there anywhere in the Bible that confirms or denies the existence of other life? And he thought for a minute and he said, well, there's all sorts of examples. There's Moses, there's Ezekiel 1. I'm like, what's Ezekiel 1? And he tells me about it. And I'm like, because I just saw something that was not from this planet. And I'm really freaked out because now God is no longer like the ultimate thing in my brain. There's got to be more. And so I couldn't sleep that night. I was freaked out. So I lived with it for a while. I went and I read Ezekiel 1, and I read all the stories in the Bible about how angels appeared before all of our, all the people. And so then I got involved with MUFON, which is Mutual UFO Organization. It's a huge network. And they have a chapter over at the Papago National Guard that meets every first Tuesday on every month. And so I asked my brother if he could go with me because I wanted to get into this now. I wanted to start talking to people about UFOs and aliens and everything. I want to find out if other people have had anything close to what I had experienced. So my brother said, yeah, I'll go with you. So we walked in and we sat down, and I don't know how this was even possible, but back then there was a show called Sightings. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And they were playing my episode, and they were showing the transcripts, and they were reenacting the whole thing. They've since then taken that whole thing down. You cannot find that. If you can, please let me know. But they were talking about all that, and my brother's like, go tell them that was you. And I'm like, oh God, no. He goes, no, go tell them this. They're playing your show right here. This is your episode. Go tell somebody this is you. So I walked up and I said, who's in charge? And it was a guy named Tim Bell, or I can't remember exactly. And I walked up and I said, I need to speak with you. I mean, took a while to get to him. He was hard to get to talk to. And they're like, well, why do you want to talk? I'm like, I have to talk to him. So when he got to me, I'm like, see this thing you're doing right here, this sightings thing? I said, I was on that airplane. He goes, what? I said, I swear I was a flight attendant on their airplane. I'm the one that saw that UFO. And he goes, you've got to be kidding me. I said, no, I swear I know the whole story. And so he said, come with me. And he went with me. And then he started telling another guy, this is, and they're like, hey, do you mind just getting up and just introducing yourself and talking about it? Well, that's not why I was telling you this, but I guess. And I'm stupid. I'm stupid. And so he gets up there and says, hey folks, welcome. We'd like to welcome everyone, and blah, blah, blah. And they go through all their formal announcements and everything. He goes, well, folks, we had a great show tonight, but fortunately we have a surprise guest. And he said, you just saw the show up here. And he goes, we've got a guy that was actually on the flight, and we'd like to bring him up right now and have him share the story. And they said, Tim, come on up. And I'm sitting here going, what the hell have I done? So I got up and I walked on the stage, and it's at the National Guard. It's an auditorium, and there's people there are people in there from college doing theses. There's people in there that are believers. There's people in there. Who knows what kind of people are in there? And so I told the story. And then after I was done, I left, and everyone's like, wow, 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 wow. So anyway, we ended and everything. And so as I walked outside, people attacked me. People walked up to me, and they were putting their hands on me like, oh my God, yes, I feel it. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. And they're like, oh, dude, they were going, there are these people out there that believe that they can have some of the energy from me from that. And there were people putting their hands on me. It was weird, dude. It was weird. People wanted my autograph.
I can feel it.
So after this one guy walks up and he goes, after you're done with all these people, I'd like to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. So I was done with all the people. I'm like, dude, let's get out of here, my brother. And so I walked up and I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he goes, well, my name is Erskine. I do a talk radio show here in Phoenix. It's on AM radio and it's about paranormal. He goes, it's on the same concept of Art Bell. And I do a show here. I was wondering if you would like to be on my show one time. And I said, oh, man, I don't know. He goes, you'd have to come downtown. You'd have to do all that. But I'm like, you know what? I'll think about it. I don't know. So I took his card and I went home, and he called me again and said, hey, this is Erskine. I was just wondering if you've, given any consideration about coming on our show. And I'm like, you know what? I'll do it. So I went on his show. And while I was on the show that night, I told the whole story just like I told it. And then there were people calling in asking questions. And then Erskine stops and he says, well, we have a special call-in guest on the phone. And Linda, are you there? It was Linda Bolton Howe. And so she starts asking me questions. How did you know who the guys were that met you? Was it FBI, or how do you know who they were? I'm like, I don't know who they were. Their badges looked official, but they weren't FAA. She goes, so you don't know they were FBI? I said, no, I never said I knew if they were FBI. I don't know who they were. And she goes, and she started badgering me and asking me all these questions. And I'm sitting here looking at Erskine going, dude, what the hell? Why she beat me up here? I mean, she's trying to discredit me. And she's like, how do you know? What you said the ship was 300 to 400. Well, that's a big difference. Was it 3 or was it 4? And I'm like, honey, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't know who she was. I had no idea. I'm not familiar with alien community at all. And so I'm like, well, man, she really tore me a new one. And after we got off and after the show was over, I'm like, she was a bitch. She was really rude to me. And I know that's her job. But I took it personal. I'm like, yeah, she just made me look like an idiot. Like I'm making all this shit up. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to do this again. And Erskine's like, don't worry about it. That's the way this works. There's a skeptic and there's a believer, and you have to have both sides, or it's not. It's just like fair and balanced. I'm like, all right. So I went on, and I didn't do any more things. I got a hold of Jim Delatoso. He's a animated. He animates. He's an alien animator. He does all the videos and he animates computer drawings of reenactments of all of these people that have had all these encounters. So he said, hey, would you come in and let's try and recreate what you saw? And I said, sure. So I forget, it was called something laboratories. And I went down and I met with him, and he asked me what it looked like. And he started putting all this stuff in the computer, and we got a fairly good image of what it looked like. He did a really, really good recreation of what it looked like. And that was pretty impressive. And then he's done a show on that since then. And so anyway, then I backed off and I haven't done anything. I called John. John's like, no, don't want to talk about it. And so that was in 95. In 98 or 99, 98, my buddy calls, hey, John's trying to get a hold of you, John Waller. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, here's his number. My buddy Joe Mack was still flying with him because I quit. And he goes, give John a call. So John calls me up and says, hey, man, Eugene is thinking about going forward and sharing his story with the media. I don't know who, whether it was Hard Copy or 48 Hours or Annie or whatever it was. He goes, he's going to share your story. And I was just wondering, do you want to be involved in this? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. He goes, well, I have a number for you. This is the guy's number. His name's Walter Webb. And you can Google Walter Webb right now, and there's no face of him. There's no image. He disappeared, and nobody knows anything about him now. So I called him. He was in Washington. He goes, hey, man, I'd like to get you down here and interview you about your encounter. He goes, could you get a red eye out tonight? I'm like, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't know who you are. You're wanting me to come to Washington and talk to you, and you want me to want to leave right now and come to. I'm like, no. Let me think about it. Let me talk to I'll talk to Eugene. I'll talk to John, and I'll let you know. And I didn't get back to him at all. And 2 weeks later, John called me again and said, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" He goes, "Eugene is dead." I'm like, what? They found him dead of natural causes in his home, and he was alone. Now, any other time, I that happens all the time. Happens every day.
Yeah.
There's something wrong here. There's something very, very, very wrong here. And it was in my gut, it was in my heart, it was in my mind, and I'm like, oh shit, we have just opened up the hornet's nest. And so I tried to contact Walter Webb again, and that number no longer worked. And this is right when the internet was fairly new to us. I mean, I wasn't really a person that got on the internet and all that stuff. But I started doing searches and everything. And all of a sudden, all of Walter Webb's information was taken down, unavailable.
Okay.
This site's no longer. He disappeared, and I mean, look him up right now, Walter Webb. Everything about him is just completely washed. And so I'm like, nope, I'm not saying a damn word about it. I'm not talking about it. I'm not answering phone calls. I'm not doing anything ever again. And to this day, John Waller, he's my friend, but he'll take my phone calls to say, hey, what's going on? How are you doing, man? Are you still okay? You know, in a subtle, like, are you doing okay? Are you all right? You know, I'm just making sure you're okay. But he doesn't want to talk anything about it. So that's where I am now. And then when I met Joey and Keith, they're like, so you have a UFO story? I'm like, oh boy, do I. And so I went on their show, and Joey hooked it all up, and they pulled up all the transcripts and everything, and that show got like that show got more views than I think any show they've ever done.
Still
to this day,
views, yeah.
And I've had all these people contact me and email me and ask me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of sitting on this. I want to start talking about it, and I want to start talking to other people that have had that experience. And I said, let's do some paranormal research. Let's do some investigating. And that kind of led us. They were kind of like into ghost, and I said, let's just do paranormal. And if you could see our opening to our new out there monologue or thing, it gives you a span of what we do now. And since then, we've gone to haunted hospitals, we've gone to jails, we've gone to boneyard airplanes, we've gone to people's houses that have had problems. We've done a lot of ghost investigation. It's really hard to do a whole lot of UFO investigation because there's not too many. I'm a member of CE5. Are you guys familiar with that?
Oh, yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We use that a lot. We use that a lot, yeah.
All right. So I'm a registered member. I've already gone through all the training. I can be a host. I can actually take 15 people and take them out to the desert or into a place, and I can actually host a whole CE5 meeting. I've gone through all the things. I've passed all the tests. And Richard Greer, I've got all my paperwork in order. I haven't done any since I've moved to Texas because you can't even see the frickin' sky. There's nothing. I mean, you go outside and the stars are gone because this place is just too damn big.
Light pollution.
Yeah. And so I would be doing it. But so Joey is like, why don't we just do our own paranormal stuff? So we started doing, ghost hunting and paranormal, and we looked for Bigfoot, and we've done a lot of things, and I'm interested in that. And so I have this on my truck out there with paranormal suds, and I wear the shirt, and I walk around, and I walk into stores, I walk into Mexican markets, I walk into bars, and people are like, oh, paranormal, that's cool. What is that? I'm like, yeah, I'm a paranormal investigator. I ghost hunt. I talk about UFOs. I interview people that have seen UFOs, and I've interviewed a lot of people, and a lot of people have shared their stories with me. So it's no longer a question in my mind, especially with what happened to me. But now I want to help other people that have had experiences that were too afraid, like me, to come forward because you feel like an idiot, or you feel like you're going to be fun of, or you're going to be ridiculed. I mean, Linda, bless her heart, she's wonderful. I love what she does, but she kind of broke my heart. and that's okay. She didn't know, and that's her job. But Joey and I have made a pact to start helping people like me.
Yes.
People that we don't want to go. We're ghost hunters, but we don't go to places that have been investigated. You see all these ghost hunter shows. Joey, now what we want to do is we want to hear about the person across the street that's got something wrong in their attic or their garage or their bedroom.
Yes.
And we want to go over, have an interview with them, and then have them leave and go in there. And we want to communicate with these things, find out why they're there, what they want. If they're peaceful, they can stay. If they're not, we want to ask them to leave because we're doing it for them. That's the way we want to help people today.
Yes.
And that's basically where we've ended up.
Yes, and we don't do it alone.
No, we have a whole team. We have a bunch of people and a lot of equipment, and we do it right. We go to graveyards, we go to antique stores, we go to jails, hospitals. We were up in Kingman. A guy said, "Can you please come check out what's in our house? Something's weird in our house." We went up there, and my wife and I went to do an interview before we went to investigate it. And we walked in, and shit was being thrown everywhere, and our equipment was going crazy. And I'm like, "Dude, there's something under this floor. What's under this floor?" And they're like, "There's nothing under this floor." I'm like, "No, there's something under this floor." And I noticed the carpet wouldn't attach to the side baseboards. And I'm like, "What's under this carpet?" And they're like, "We don't know." And we pulled it up, and it was a pentagram.
Ooh.
So we told them we would come back and do an investigation, but they left.
Wait.
They left before we got back up there. So that's where Joey and I are right now. We're trying to help people understand. We're called S.U.D.S, searching, understanding, discovering.
Subscribe, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Dakota, would you like to ask them some UFO questions? Because I can tell by the looks, I can tell the wee cogs are ticking over.
Absolutely.
No, honestly, just hearing your story, I'm honestly facing a lot of the same stuff. I've been starting to come out about my own experiences. I just went to a conference down in Orlando, and everybody was recognizing me from this show. One guy was offering to buy me dinner, and I was like, "Hey, oh, you're not my type." Then there have also been times where I come out where I go to share my story. I shared some real personal stuff, and people are just like, "Well, that man is totally lying." It's like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
I know. I get where you're coming from. I mean, there's a slight possibility a bomb threat was called in to scare me off on something, but that's still being investigated by the police as we're talking. So I'm just amazed.
And I want to meet these other people that have had experiences like me, man, because they're not alone. And I'm this whole time I've been talking about this, my body's shaking. I'm all choked up. My anxiety's crazy. And every time I talk about this stuff, I get chills. It's traumatic, man. It's really stressful. I've learned to manage it and deal with it, but man, it's a lot of work.
Do you think maybe this was meant to happen?
I believe that. Yeah, I think
it's all connected.
Well, I'm an ordained minister, but I don't preach anymore. My he was a traveling evangelist and went all over the country healing people and speaking in tongues. I left the church. I was no longer religious. I became spiritual. And so I don't believe in like religion anymore, but I'm spiritual. And so I do believe that there is a reason that encounter happened. And this is, I bring it back to Travis Walton. I'm not special, but I was chosen for that. They know I saw them. They know. Mm-hmm. Why would they let me know if there wasn't a reason? There has to be a reason.
Because they had a plan for you. They wanted you to see them. Maybe they followed you home.
It was confirmation. I think they did.
Maybe they followed you home because maybe they were looking after you. You never know.
And I've got a story when I was young about an abduction, but I don't tell anybody because it's too crazy. One day, I hope
welcome to the crowd.
One day, I hope to do hypnotic regression and have somebody get me in. I want to interpret this dream I've been having all my life because it doesn't make any sense. So I do feel like deep inside somewhere, I have been abducted, but I'm scared to go down that hole.
Maybe it's time you went in there. Maybe it's time you opened up the can and went for it.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not scared of anything. I've almost died 9 times. I'm not afraid of dying.
Before I get into this, I was like a Christian. I believed in Jesus and all that stuff. I believed in the Bible and stuff. And then I started to experience things that were one of the things that were like I seen UFO. I seen that day. I seen that UFO. The one that I shared with Dakota, the one that I just couldn't understand why I could see it, but my phone wouldn't video it. And
there's so much more beyond Jesus. Thank God people believe in Jesus, and sometimes I'm kind of glad that people don't know about what more is out there. It's amazing. The dimensions, the portals, the parallel universes. I can't talk about it to people because they don't understand and they think I'm nuts.
And that's how we lost our hair.
Yeah,
but it's a good thing though, because everybody, obviously you've got the Bible and people believe in Jesus and all that kind of thing.
That's
how do
good.
we not know that Jesus wasn't one of them?
I think
you see what I'm
Jesus
going with
was
us?
an alien. I say Jesus was an alien. He was a seer. He was like an Anunnaki. He was like the Sumerian. He was Akhenaten. He was one of the special people that came from the stars and gave men knowledge and education, and then went back to where he came from. It's the same story over and over in every culture.
I there's people out there that think that we're the only life forms in the entire universe, right? And I people that I just don't agree with them. I think it's a good thing to know that there's other life out there, that there's other civilizations out there. Right now, there's civilizations out there that are running about the same technology as us. There's civilizations out there that are still in the Stone Age, but then there's civilizations out there that are millions of years more advanced, and they're watching us.
And we're starting to find that out, and we're starting to discover.
Yeah.
Geoteple Tempe. I always say that wrong, but listen.
That throws me off when you say it.
You ask a person that's religious or a Christian.
Gobekli Tepe.
You ask a person that's religious or a Christian like that to read Sumerian text, which
Cuneiform.
Yeah. Zachariah Sitchin. All right. If you ask somebody to read that, just read the text and then explain to me how you still believe what you believe. You can't. It's contradictory. It's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
I've read
I believe truth.
Yeah.
I believe truth, your own truth kind of exists on its own plane. So like-minded people exist on the same truth plane. I don't think there's anything cut and dry about the truth, to be honest with you. I think there's many truths. It depends on where you resonate at.
What dimension you're in.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you don't want to stir the pot with people that are totally believing in what they believe, because it brings them peace. It helps them through their day.
That's fine.
I think that's great. But
I'm glad about religion. Don't get me wrong. Religion is very important to the people that are ignorant, and they need the steps and they need the tools to achieve a spiritual level. That's important that everyone achieves a spiritual level. If it takes religion for them to get there, that's fine. It took me religion to get there. But once you reach spirituality, it's no longer about religion.
Yeah.
But it's important that everybody get there.
Exactly.
I
do the ghost investigations too and stuff, and I've met some strange folk in my life. I mean, Dakota's one of them, but I've met some really, really strange. I know I'm strange too. I've met some people that they go to church and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, I don't believe in aliens. Oh, and I don't believe in ghosts."
It's okay.
And then they go, "But when I die, I'm going to heaven." And then I say to them, "But you don't believe in ghosts, and you don't believe in the afterlife. But when you die, you're going to heaven."
They don't know what heaven
is. And
is.
it's a kind of question. Then you see them, they sit there, and you can see them thinking about it, and they go all quiet because you've obviously activated a question in their head. Because I know friends like that, and knew they asked me all the time about UFO stuff. Because
if I hadn't gone through this, I would have been just fine.
Yeah.
I would have been just fine the way I was.
You wouldn't have been elevated to where you are.
I wouldn't be where I am now, but
Yeah.
I don't think that I would have suffered or missed out on anything. But when you allow yourself to go to experience, to look in, to open yourself up to that different level and different dimension and different parallel universe, and you allow that, you accept it, it starts coming in, and you start being educated in a way that you never would have if you just kept going to Sunday school.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's amazing. And you know what? I consider it a gift.
Yeah. It's actually interesting because there's Pete in the chat.
So
It's good to
Pete,
see you,
I
Pete.
saw that pop up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah. And it's actually interesting about how he said his dad had so many fights about people with angels and stuff like that. I mean,
yes,
I do believe angels exist, but no in an angelic kind of form. I do believe that a long time ago there was these beings that came to the earth. You see where I'm going with this? A long time ago,
the Watchers.
Yes. Yeah.
The ones from who heaven the stars came.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they teached man how to farm, and they teached man how to build stuff, and then they disappeared again.
Yeah.
And then obviously they're watching us grow as we speak. I mean, one day they are going to come down. One day they are going to arrive. I mean,
Nibiru.
It's only a matter of it's only what is your opinion in Planet Nibiru? I mean, it's an interesting one, that.
It's coming back, and when they do, everything's going to be answered. It's a rotation of a planet that was here a long time, 2,600 years ago, and it makes its orbit. And every time it gets back to our orbit, they come down and they teach us and they show us and everything, and they leave again. One day they're gonna be back. They're gonna come down. They're gonna confirm everything that I believe. Mm-hmm. Because if you believe the Sumerian writings and Akhenaten and the the people, the Akanai,
the Anunnaki.
I'm sorry, the Anunnaki. And if you just listen to what they talk about, because nobody wants to hear that. It's like you're in denial, but people are going to be shocked when it actually happens again, and I know it's going to happen again.
I'm reading that book, the new Zachariah Sitchin, When Time Began. You know the one I'm talking about?
I love that man. Yes.
I just get it in the other day. I'm only maybe 40 or 50 pages.
That'll change your life.
Yeah.
It'll change your life.
It's very interesting. It's a big, thick book, and it's...
that and Chariot of the Gods.
Yeah, I've got that one too. I've got
that and Chariot of the Gods. If you can read both of those and tell me you don't believe all that stuff,
that movie
right there
came
behind
out.
us.
You can't do that.
There's a big pile of books behind us, and it's every one that he's ever wrote. Zachariah Sitchin.
It's undeniable.
He was a very interesting man.
You can't argue it.
Yeah. So, Dakota?
So, being that we're getting close to the end of the hour, what are your guys' opinion on the renewed interest in the public when it comes to UFOs regarding all of these Senate hearings? So what do you think that's going to lead to?
They're gradually softening us up for the big reveal.
Yeah.
We're getting used to it. So then when the thing lands on the US, there's not going to be a panic there like was in Orson Welles. Orson Welles proved that they couldn't talk about it back then.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we wouldn't have that. If you heard aliens came down on the White House lawn, there's a lot of people that are going to keep going to the bowling alley and not give a crap about it.
Yeah.
Not like they did with Orson Welles. When Orson Welles did that, the whole world panicked.
Yeah.
They won't do that now. They've slowly been conditioning us to accept what's inevitable. And when we're all numb with it and we all accept it and all the movies and all the stuff, when we're all cool, then they'll tell us, and we won't lose control as government and society as we know it.
Well, we can go forward just a little bit though from that. I think not only are they softening us or helping us to expect what's to come, but they're positioning themselves to be able to do a false flag and not lose control.
Right.
That's my concern about it. Is
the
them
control
faking it and turning the tides before the real aliens come.
They can't
So-
do it until we're
Yeah.
ready. And
Yeah.
I don't know
they
that
could
we're
do
ready.
that,
but-
and they still have control of us, or of the country or whatever, of the people. Because if the aliens just came down and landed on the White House lawn and stepped out, then said, "Hey, we're here and we're it."
Not a whole lot of people were shocked like they were with Orson
Yeah,
Welles.
but they're going to say, "Well, then why do I need to
listen to police or
yeah.
a judge or government? We'll lose control as organization of government as we know it, because nobody will respect a policeman anymore, because what the hell are they? They don't mean nothing.
I personally think the will come, but I think they're waiting for our society to try and repair itself a wee bit. I think
Yes,
they're waiting.
absolutely.
They're waiting for the wars. The wars are terrible. I mean,
Well, that's
the Middle
probably
East is
what's
falling
going to
apart.
cause them to come back. World War III will probably be the reason that they intervene and it all comes back.
Yeah, I think that's what they're waiting on. I think they're waiting for the powers that be, because obviously, let's face it, the powers that be, some of the powers that be, they want to keep it hidden for the technology and making money.
It's corrupt.
I think they're waiting. They're waiting for World War III to start.
Yeah, the right time.
And I think once it starts, I don't think they're going to allow the nuclear weapons to get used. There's too many UFOs that's turned off nuclear.
I don't think they're going to let that
stuff.
happen. They know that we are going to destroy ourselves. And I honestly believe that they are there making sure that we do not do that to ourselves. Yeah. And I think they will intervene before that happens. I honestly believe that.
Hope so.
Oh, the only thing that I worry about is the government will turn around and say, "Oh, look, the aliens have turned off our nuclear weapons and stuff. Let's unite to fight the alien menace." It's like Project Bluebeam kind of thing comes in. And I mean, let's face it, all they need to do is some like kid-owned spaceships together a city, and then they can drop bombs on that city and say it's the aliens that did it. But why would they want to do that? The aliens were here before humans were.
They created
aliens living on. Yes, there's aliens that live here long, but they're still living under the oceans and stuff like that. Why?
There's a gene in our DNA that cannot be identified because it was intervention.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting too deep.
I know I love this kind of stuff.
No,
I mean,
we've gotten worse.
Oh no, honestly, this stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
And one day, I think in our lifetimes,
I hope I get to see it. I told my kids, God, I hope I'm here to see it. I really, really
I think
do.
it'll be happening
because
soon.
of all the history. So you have history. You have let's say 2000, 3000 BC, and then you have Christ, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2000 AD. All right. What have we had up until 1947? A wheel and fire.
Yeah.
Yep.
What happened when that spaceship crashed and we started reverse engineering? How the hell did we go from wheel to fire to a microwave to transistors to electronics to nanotechnology to lasers to fiber optics to... Come on, guys. Seriously. Who can deny that?
It makes you wonder what this human civilization will be like after they arrive. Because they'll give us, we'll probably have to earn it ourselves, but we'll have it with their help. We'll be able to build ships that will travel to different parts of the galaxy.
Yeah.
And then one day, maybe in 1,000 years from now or 2,000 years from now, we will be a civilization that will find a planet out there, just like we were in the 1940s or the 1930s or whatever.
Yes.
And we'll be like, oh, look, they're coming close to making the nuclear weapons, right? That's it. We need to help them. And then it'll go. And I think that's how it works in the universe. I really do. I think that's because they'll pass on, we'll join them, they'll help the next one, then they'll join us, and that's what happens. I really do think that.
Yeah, it's just amazing if you step out of the box and look at it. It's not supposed to make sense how we are where we are today. It just doesn't make sense. It's like the H-stones and
what is that one?
Pumapuku. Yeah. Today we can't create those things. We can't do that today. We cannot do that. So it's lost technology, and I believe the world's been destroyed many, many times. And I think we're just now discovering old technology going, wait a minute, this is a cycle. And when we get to where we can't handle it anymore, we'll be destroyed. And then in another 3, 4, 5,000 years, they'll be pulling up our cell phones under dirt going, what the hell is this?
Yeah. But I think this time we've got help. I think they've decided to help us. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's happened so many times in the past.
They're on our side. They're on our side.
Yeah.
Well, aren't we the supposed to be the sixth species or sixth cycle of humans on Earth?
If you go by the Mayan calendar, we restart now, and this is all supposed to end and happen all over again. If you look at the quadroon, but anyway.
Yeah.
But Dakota,
so guys, where can?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just want to know where we can see your story, your UFO. What episode on your channel can we go check out?
It's kind of spread out because we've had several incidents where shit got weird on the show. I mean, there's been sections where we had certain guests on, and for some reason that guest and I couldn't hear each other, but they could hear Chris just fine. And I'm having to type my questions in the chat just to communicate. It's still a developing story. It's all over the place. The saga still continues.
I think we need to have him on our show to tell his story. That's what we'll do. That'll be easy.
Have you on our show
and see how our audio goes.
Yeah, our audio always goes ass crazy when we do shows. I mean, we have so many,
especially when Mike was on.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh,
Mike turned into a silent.
Nothing worked. We had lights flashing
when Mike and I would link up.
Yeah.
Whatever he had tied to him and whatever was tied to me did not like each other.
Right. We've had that. We've had things tonight. We've had nothing go wrong. This is probably,
as far as I know,
our first.
Touch wood.
This could be our first time we have nothing go wrong.
We didn't have anything go wrong on our. When we were doing the.
But I'm telling you, man, I know what you're talking about. I mean, we've had shit go weird. Things stop working, batteries die, cameras working. He had a camera that just disappeared. Our lights flash.
We've had computers blow up.
Yeah.
There was one night. We actually mentioned that last night, Dakota. What was the night that we were talking about? Was it a UFO subject? And you went, beam Chris up, and I get kicked out of StreamYard. That was that.
No. We got to talking about it. Chris was joking. It was like, take me. All of a sudden, his connection just drops. Something kicked him out.
Awesome. Well, how do we find your feed? You're gonna have to share that with us. We'd love
to. Bald and Bonkers, right?
Oh yeah, we try to sync everything through Bald and Bonkers. We're out to.
We're on Amazon today, so
50, we have like 50 plus different locations our shows go out to, so that in the event something gets taken down, there's several more copies for people.
Cool. We're gonna get more involved with that.
Yeah.
And also we've got the TV network. Dakota built a TV network.
We have Bonkers TV that plays all of our YouTube videos as kind of a old school linear TV. We're working on getting our own streaming platform together, so that way we have full control over it for whenever all this shit decides to go against us.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you guys so much for having us on. I mean,
this is awesome.
Brilliant. It's been a brilliant show tonight. So, guys, where can everybody find you? Let's come on, plug it. Where can you find you?
I'll tell you what. I'll show you. I'll come back and share it if we can. Just now our episode's still playing there, Dave.
We want to show you just our intro so if people want to look at it, they can. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. Joey and I put it together. It's really cool. And we're proud of it. So here, that's
how did that? Took me back to that.
The ghosts in the machine.
Yeah. This is what's kind of weird.
Mike, is it you?
All right, here we go. Let's share this right here.
All right, let me take it back to there.
And big screen.
Still big screen. Then I'll come back and share if I can. It keeps. not letting me. I have to keep it small.
Mm.
All right. Now I'll share.
It should be up shortly, guys.
Here it
No,
comes.
Mommy,
There. But I got to go in and start it.
Do you hear it?
you got audio.
Welcome to Out There. I'm Papa Joey Stay.
And I'm Uncle Tim Rice.
In this series, we explore the unexplained
And the paranormal.
While I'm somewhat of a skeptic,
I'm a full-on believer.
together we take a deep dive into all things that could be considered out there.
We discuss everything paranormal, from ghosts and UFOs to cryptids and more.
Join us as we unravel the mysteries behind the stories
And decide for ourselves
if there is something more out there.
So cool. Thanks for letting us show that.
That is brilliant. I like that.
Yeah, so this is the channel that's out there with SUDS. And you can see we're only at 46 subscribers on that one. So.
This is new.
yeah,
We just started this, but we're looking forward to reaching out to a whole
I'm
lot
going to
of people.
subscribe to that tonight.
We might need to get you synced up to Bonkers TV, so that way
Aye.
No, that would be
That'd
awesome.
be awesome. Yeah.
All right.
You could actually stream to the Bald and Bonkers Network. You could actually stream to the Bald and Bonkers Facebook group, and I would let you stream to a Ghost Squad Scotland group if you want on Facebook, if you're on Facebook.
Awesome. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're going to start doing a live show every Tuesday night. So,
Yeah, you'll get more viewers. You'll get quite a lot of viewers through the Facebook group because there's a lot of people on there that like that kind of stuff.
awesome. We'll share our
Yeah,
out there
yeah.
Facebook with you, and we look forward to talking to your guests.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm honestly, I'm really looking forward to your UFO stuff. That story you tell us about what happened with the UFO was amazing.
Yeah, I
It
probably
really
won't
was.
sleep tonight. I'm going to be all shook up.
You'll be a chap at
every
the
time
door
we
and there'll be
talk-
3 guys in black suits.
Yeah.
You want to have a word with you?
Oh, there's a reason why I literally have security cameras pointing at me at night, just in case something happens.
It's scary, man. Once you dive into that unknown, man, you're done. It's
I've
all
had an
in.
abduction where I ended up 30 miles away from where I was at, and I may have had hybrid children.
Wow.
Hmm.
Awesome. Freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we're definitely going
I'm
to
all
get
in.
together on that
I'm all
story.
in.
Yeah.
So there you go,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. You know, look, the UFO world is an amazing world, but honestly, you're going to experience some crazy stuff in your life. You really are.
It is.
Because
Oh,
the deeper down the rabbit hole you go, the more it opens up.
Yes.
You know. Oh, there you go. I think you just hit 50 subscribers there. I've just subscribed there. There we go.
All right.
Thank you.
We're
Well, there you
excited.
go.
There we go. So, guys, I would like to thank you for coming. We'll talk to you behind the scenes. Everybody that came tonight, thank you very much. Remember, Dakota's got a show this week. Is it the Dakota Files? Am I correct?
Yeah,
Dakota?
Branson Files, or I go more into my own research on this type of stuff. And I think this one is probably going to spook some people.
I hope so. I hope so.
And Friday, I'll be doing Paranormal Uncut. I don't know what we're talking about yet, but it'll be something interesting, probably. So, thank you, everybody, for coming. Remember, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, and see you all soon. Take
Thank
care.
you, guys.
Talk to you
Yes,
guys
thank
behind the
you.
scenes. Catch you later, dudes.
Much love.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers Boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.